Hey guys, I got a couple of these questions on my Facebook page. Obviously, I took a break for the last couple of days, but I went back and there's messages asking, how do I lose body fat coming into the new year? People that have overdone it at Christmas. Firstly, don't worry if you've overdone it. Everyone does. As I sent out in my newsletter today, I'm pretty sure I've kept Cadbury's in the black for the next quarter, so don't worry if you overdid it. But the main tips I'm going to give you, are going to be diet and training related to coming into the new year. And if you put on extra body fat or extra weight over the Christmas, these are the things you need to do to lose the body fat fast and build up your metabolism and build up your lean muscle and tone up so that your metabolism gets elevated as a result. The first thing you need to do is go back into eating a calorie deficit. Basically, a calorie deficit means that you're eating less calories than you're burning. Over the Christmas, you tend to overindulge on calories and you go way into a calorie surplus. So, for example, say you calculate your maintenance calories, which is the calories you need to stay the same weight, and they're around 2,200. You're normally around 3,500, 4,000 a day over the Christmas when you're eating, different foods that you wouldn't normally eat. So obviously, the more calories you consume when you're not burning them, the excess gets stored as body fat. That's what happens with excess calories. So the first thing you need to do is drop yourself back into a deficit. The best way of doing this is to keep your meals small. Like as I said, the key really is to make sure you're eating 5-6 times a day, or stimulating your metabolism 5-6 times a day. You don't have to sit down and have a meal or a full dinner. But a handful of almonds or an apple or something that stimulates your metabolism. As a snack between the day. If you can get 3 solid meals in, and 2 snacks. As I said, a handful of nuts or almonds, an apple, some pineapple, things like that. You want to stimulate your metabolism and give yourself a bit of a metabolic boost. And those are also pretty low calorie foods, as long as you don't go too crazy on nuts. They're really healthy fats and they're going to support your insulin and blood sugar levels, which actually secondarily help burn body fat. The second thing then is your resistance training. When you're in the gym, the best way of burning body fat is using your resistance training to elevate your metabolism. Like, resistance training doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be training with weights, but you're using resistance. So resistance, body weight resistance, or kettlebells, TRX, then weight machines, dumbbells, barbells. It's all resistance, okay, to your body. Basically what happens is you tear down as many fibers as possible, and as your body tries to repair itself, it has to use the calories you eat to repair the fibers that you've torn. So the excess calories that you're eating, or the calories full stop that you're eating, are going towards repair, and they're not going towards body fat. So doing your resistance training, if you can keep your heart rate above 70%, you're on to a winner. 70%, when you're above 70% of your max heart rate is 220 minus your age. You tend to burn more body fat while you're actually training as well, because your heart rate's elevated and your lipolysis is more effective. Your body's better at burning fat for fuel. So high intensity training. Like, I know my projects and a lot of my classes and stuff are all high intensity based. Around resistance training and around keeping your heart rate. My heart rate, people will normally work within 80, 85, 90%. So you can imagine the fat burning they're getting from the classes. So if you're doing your own program, make sure that you're high intensity, that your heart rate's above 70%. Once your heart's going like this, and there's a pretty fast beat, you're probably at about 70%. 90, 95% is when you're like completely panted out and and you can't move. So just below that. Next thing then is a reduction in carbs. Carbs that I've put, if you're on my newsletter and you put your email down below, I'll subscribe you to my newsletter. I talk about the reduction of carbs and how carbs is the most overrated food in terms of actual nutritional profile. There are essential amino acids, like you need protein. Your body, it's essential. Your body cannot make it by itself. You need to consume it from food. And the same as essential fatty acids. You have to eat those fat sources because your body can't make them. There's no essential carb. Carb is for energy. That's all. Is the only function it has. Some have a little bit of extra vitamins and minerals. Nothing that you can't get from vegetables. But complex carbohydrates, as good as they are at certain times, and they taste amazing, they have no nutritional value besides providing energy. So reduce your carbs. I generally say to people, use your carbs in your post-workout meals, or first thing in the morning. A slow release carb, something like porridge, sweet potato. Something slow release. And keep them in the times when you're most insulin sensitive. basically when your body won't store them as body fat. That's first thing in the morning. When your blood sugars are low, first thing in the morning and post-workout, that's when you can eat those carbs and actually have no negative effect. So keep your carbs in just your post-workout meal, or if you didn't go too crazy over the Christmas, use them in the first meal as well. And then the last one is adding cardio strategically. It's very tempting for people to do is to go in and start jumping on a treadmill or jumping on a cross trainer for 40 or 50 minutes and using that as their workout. And that's all well and good. You'll burn more calories doing 50 minutes of cardio than you will doing 50 minutes of resistance training. But the reality is you're only burning those calories at that time. If you do the resistance training first, you're now stimulating your metabolism. So you go home and go and chill and watch Game of Thrones for the evening, you're still burning calories because your body's trying to repair the muscle that you broke down from the resistance training. The key to cardio is added in at the end of your workout. Your body has a main energy system source. I've talked about it before, which is like your glucose, which is the carbs you've eaten that day. Your glycogen is the carbs you've eaten the last few days, and then your body fat. So it taps into those in that order. Things like alcohol go to the front, trans fats go to the back, but they're your basic three: glucose, glycogen, and body fat. When you're training, if you take your carbs out of your pre-workout meal, you've now basically taken out one of those factors. So your glucose is more or less gone. You're tapping straight into glycogen, your stored carbs when you train. If you're doing resistance training, you're going to burn through those glycogen and stored carbs way quicker than you will in the cardio machine. It takes about 45, 50 minutes to even tap into to deplete glycogen stores completely. And you're actually haven't even got into body fat at that stage. Doing resistance training will tap into that faster. So do your resistance training first and then add your cardio at the end. You could do 50, 60 minutes of cardio, burn a few calories, but never change your body. Or you add in 10 minutes of low intensity or high intensity or moderate intensity cardio at the end of your resistance training, and your body just starts to change. Okay, your body fat starts dropping off because what happens is your glycogen levels are gone and you're now directly tapping into fat stores. So get the best bang for your buck. Don't spend an hour on the treadmill or an hour on a cross trainer when you could be just doing 10 minutes of it at the end of a resistance workout and getting 10 times the results. So they're probably the most important tips. As I said, calorie deficit, resistance training, keeping your heart rate up, CrossFit, high intensity style stuff, reduce your carbs, and then adding in cardio strategically. They're the main things to lose body fat, and tone up in the new year. So if you've got any questions, guys, leave a comment down below. Particularly good at replying to people on my Facebook, and I'm trying to get a little bit better on YouTube as well. So just leave a comment down below and I'll try to reply. And if you've got any more questions, guys, just again, comment down below. Please like and share the page.